Hello, Mark.
Yes.
Hi, this is Bill Hernandez, editor of RockBandReviews.com here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. How's it going
Hey,
today?
Bill. Nice to talk to you.
Likewise, man. It's such an honor and a pleasure to speak to a musician of your caliber, man.
Thank you, bro.
I mean, of 23 years of reviewing and interviewing bands, this is going to be the very first time I've seen Firefall live. So I'm very excited to see you along with Poco and Pure Prairie League this Saturday night at the Pompano Beach Amphitheater.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's a great pairing of bands. Um, the music is so um, complimentary, and the personalities, all the guys. It's just a great hang for us, and I think the audience gets it too.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I think I first heard most of these bands when I was like 7 years old living in California. So, to hear this music, I mean, it's going to be a trip in a time machine for me.
Oh yeah. So where in California did you grow up?
Started out in Glendale, then went to Burbank, and then ended up Santa Monica.
Oh, that's where Spirit started. Right
Yeah,
there by the Santa Monica Civic Center, right there.
I tell you, I grew up on the
Great.
pier. Every day that the sun was shining, we were on that pier and on that beach, man. I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Now you've been involved in rock and roll for like well over 4 decades now, and in that time, you've been a part of some of the biggest and most influential bands in rock. You mentioned Spirit, Canned Heat, we have Heart, and of course Firefall. What has this incredible music journey been like for you?
Well, it's been, of course, the journey of my life. As I started, Spirit's first record came out in '67, so this would be the 50th year of. But I was recording in high school. I mean, so I lived longer than some of my friends. I've had a career in music longer than some of my friends have been alive. So it's been kind of a reality check, and I don't really wax all um, reflective, but when I get asked a question, it just kind of surprises me too that I've been able to do all that stuff, and it's just been a remarkable experience. I grew up. My father was an actor, and he came to California to pursue his acting thing, and I grew up in that environment, and it just seemed like a natural progression to get into music, especially when uh, the surf music and then later the Beatles and all that hit. It just was a natural segue, and I've been doing it, man, from that point forward. So it's been quite a remarkable experience, I have to say.
That's real interesting because my father was in the movie business out there. He was a key grip he went from 20th Century to Burbank Studios to Universal and then to Paramount.
I bet he worked with some of my buddies that we graduated from high school at Chatsworth High School in 1965, and Johnny DiPalma and Alan Pettibone. Actually, with a little help from my dad, got into the back. Johnny was an electrician, and Alan was a carpenter. So, and those guys had a beautiful long. They worked on Little House on the Prairie for
Ah,
decades. That kind of stuff.
exactly. My dad was mostly, he was one of four guys that put the floor down that lights up on Saturday Night Fever and worked worked on like Grease and, shows like Mork and Mindy and Happy Days and things like that. So it was great that as a kid growing up, we were allowed to go on the lot and just kind of experience this stuff. But then I moved away from California when I was 9, and I'm like, this is what I like. I like the celebrity of it all and everything, and I love to write. And I thought, I love music, I love writing, so here I am today.
Perfect. Way to go, brother.
And I play guitar too, not very well, but it just all came together that way. Now you had mentioned high school before. Is that when you knew you wanted to make music for a living?
Well, I knew I wanted to make music. The whole evolution into going into the music business um, didn't occur to me until Spirit. I think when we realized, and it was a group. Actually, the predecessor was a group called the Red Roosters, and Randy Wolf,
Yep.
his uncle owned the Ash Grove, and when we started from scratch on a Monday nights were usually closed, but Uncle
Well, you still could have played guitar because music soothes the savage beast. So you could have fit that in there somewhere.
Well, I do play guitar, right on guitar. Um, but I'll tell you, looking back on this whole thing, and when you get the big picture and you look at it, I guess what I am most grateful for is, of course, all the great songs and the great friendships that I've had over the years, and a few enemies over the years.
Yeah.
There is that thing when you're in the zone, and when you know it, when you're in your creative mode, and you kind of have that you're in that zone, like athletes talk about. And I've been lucky enough over this many years to spend quite a bit of time in that zone. It's of course it's rare, you're only there periodically, but after all this time, I figure that I've been in that kind of meditation zone for a while now, and I think that I'm getting some. There's momentum. There's this kind of awareness of that. I have this perspective that has been shifted because of my lucky life that I've been able to create and get into the zone and meditate on being a part of something that's bigger than myself. And you can kind of see where this is going as far as my spiritual development. It's really helped me have a belief system that is pretty special and unique.
Yeah, I would definitely think you're very fortunate because a lot of people are just pinned to one band. But you've played in a lot of different bands, and I think that overall that makes you a much better player, playing alongside other people and kind of gleaning things from them as you go along.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think and also the years of being a studio guy here in Texas, especially, working on stuff that I wouldn't normally choose to do, but because there I was hired to do the session. It forces a musician in that situation to come up with stuff that the artist and the writer wants to hear. It's not necessarily but I try to channel uh, their desires and try to put it to them. So it, it, it it's a different path for sure, but I think all of it has kind of made me the musician I am today, and I can't really complain.
Now, as a bass guitar player, are you self-taught?
Oh yes, sir.
So, what can fans that have never seen Firefall expect from one of their shows?
Well, this is a good time to catch us because this lineup with Jock, of course, being the leader, he's owned the name. I left in '80 and wound up doing stuff back in LA and joining Heart in the '80s and the early '90s. And I've rejoined about 3 years ago. David is back, so the three original guys in a band that of that age group is pretty good. And we have a great longtime drummer, Sandy Ficca, is going to be. He's been with the band over 30 years, and a relatively new lead singer, Gary Jones. So this is a good lineup. Everybody's hitting on all cylinders. The communication on stage, um, the energy, and I don't know, the musical conversations that we have during solos and stuff is pretty obviously we're having a good time. So I think people will expect the hits. We'll give them some nice, wonderful moments of improvisation.
Hmm.
And at my request, we decided to kind of pursue some of the lineage, family tree aspect of Firefall, because if you factor in the Graham Parsons and the Lost Angels with the birds and the burritos and spirit, and,
Yep.
I suggested that we do some songs from those groups to kind of give the audience a sense of our history. So we're doing, I think we're going to do a couple of spirit songs, maybe depending on the time, and maybe a bird song. So we're starting to incorporate some of that. So.
Fantastic idea, man. Now, finally, what's next for you in the near future?
Well, I'm kind of focusing pretty much on the Fireball stuff. It's kind of like a well-oiled machine at this point. We're talking about maybe doing some new material, some new recording, which is something that the group has not done, from what I understand, in a long time. So there's that
Just take it day by day and enjoy the ride.
That's right. One mistake at a time, baby.
It only makes us better, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mark, thank you so much for taking time out of your touring schedule to talk with us today, and we're looking forward to seeing you Saturday night at the Pompano Beach Amphitheater. Now, I've already interviewed with Poco and Pure Prairie League, and we're going to bring a guitar backstage. We're going to donate to the Miami Dolphins Foundation. Do you think Firefall would like to put their name on it?
Heck yeah, that'll be.
I hope there's enough room for all you guys.
We'll write small.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you Saturday. Look forward to meeting you, buddy.
Me too, pal. Thank you so much.
Safe travels.
Later.
Bye-bye.